Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Marine X back at it again. We've got to talk about just exciting and extremely reasonable. I would say that I'm surprised that these weren't something that came out in 2023, but these are EDC trends for 2024 that we got to pay attention to. I know it's April of 2024, and earlier this year, I talked about some design trends and EDC trends and things that people are going to be carrying and using that are going to be something that you want to keep an eye on. But we kind of need to refresh that after a quarter ends. I normally not kind of just like to take a look and see what's still trending in EDC everyday carry, specifically just bacon, lettuce, and tomatoes, if you're wondering what that is. And no better time than now than to talk about this stuff, because the first thing I want to say are gone are the days of less is more. Minimalistic is out the window. Maximalism is all the way here. It is time to go. No longer are the days when a gun, a knife, a wad of cash, a wallet, in your cell phone are good enough for everyday carry. That's no longer reasonable. Okay, I know your phone has a flashlight. I know a knife is good for everything mostly you need it to do, but that's not good anymore. Okay, two is one is none. So I want you to keep that in mind as we go through this stuff. The first thing we got to talk about are nods, extra ammo, basically anything that you can carry on your body that's humanly possible. It's good to go for 2024. We got to talk about the movie Black Hawk Down. Do we remember that fantastic movie? It was based off of a book, and the soldiers and I think a few airmen as well, they went out on that mission and they purposely didn't bring any night vision. They didn't bring any nods. They didn't bring any additional ammo and magazines because it was supposed to be a quick mission. And then lo and behold, it wasn't a quick mission. Shit hit the fan. A Black Hawk or two went down. And so the story goes. Black Hawk Down was the best thing to ever happen to everyday carry. Now we have a reason to carry the flak jacket, the groin protector, the nods, extra magazines, extra ammo, a Faraday bag if you can hold it. Matter of fact, just an entire microwave in your vehicle at all times. Super trendy for everyday carry in 2024. I really need to self-reflect because I haven't went and found an old microwave and stuck it in the bed of my truck and stuck some critical items in there just in case like an EMP attack or something like that. I mean, a Faraday bag is something that's reasonable, but I feel like I need to go balls deep into this preparation. The number one I would say is extra everything. Okay, so that's the premise of the first one, is just carrying as much stuff as possible, getting I don't know, if you can fit it all in your trousers, then so be it. Maybe a bag, maybe a sling. I think that brings me to my second point. Trending in everyday carry for 2024, hands down, is wearing both a waist pack, a sling, and a backpack all at the same time. I say both. It's really a trifecta. You are getting nowhere if you are not wearing both a bag, a sling, and a waist pack when you leave your house. That way you can carry as much stuff as you need. You never know which stage in life that you are, whether you have kids that are in diapers. Maybe you like to play tennis. You need to have extra balls on you at all times. Maybe you just like to have a lot of extra snacks on you for whatever reason. Carrying all three just makes life that much easier. Then you really don't even need storage for your knives and your multi-tools and your flashlights anymore. Because if you can put everything in those three bags and just rotate those out, I think that's the most trendy thing that you can do for 2024. So having that duplication, that's number one. We just talked about that. If you have a truck, tow a car behind it. That way two is one and one is none. So we talked about that. Wearing multiple bags at the same time, super trendy, super reasonable for this entire calendar year. But the next one that we have got to talk about, any knife made by a gun manufacturer. Take your pick. My favorite is Smith & Wesson, but if it's a knife manufacturer, they don't know what they're doing. Gun manufacturers are leading the tip of the spear for 2024. I can't tell you how many times I stopped by a gas station. I've stopped by a Trader Joe's. I've stopped by an Aldi's, and I was just able to easily find a Smith & Wesson knife. I don't know if the scales are made of steel. Maybe they're made of polymer. I don't really know. I just know that if I can trust them to make the boomstick to protect my life, I can scrap my Wee knives, my Benchmade, my Spydercos, my Kubies. I can get rid of all of them. Now it's a one-stop shop where I can go pick up very easily. Go to places like Borelli.com, maybe go to your local gas station, just go to Amazon. It's usually like the #1 best-selling knife on Amazon for a reason. I mean, I don't know what the blade steel is. It normally has partial serrations, which are just really hard to sharpen, but you can just buy another one. It's so trendy to just get the one and done system, have matching everything, get you a Smith and Wesson boomstick, get you the knife, maybe get a holster. Do they make ammo? Like you can just have everything all from one, showing support for one brand, especially if they make knives as well. It just makes a whole lot of sense. What else makes sense is anything Amazon Basics in your everyday carry, but I'm specifically talking about the battery packs that overheat, sometimes swell, and they can damage your phone. Now, the reason I'm talking about those is because Amazon stands by their products. So I think you should be willing to roll the dice on that cheaper price for those battery packs that kind of just slap right on the back of your phone. It's an everyday carry item. You can keep your phone nice, ready to go. And there's a lot of reviewers that talk about they swell, and some of them, just don't last as long as they should. But I think that if you roll the dice, you spend that money, you get an Amazon Basics battery pack, you get yourself an Amazon Basics multi-tool. I don't even know what it's made out of, but it looks like it has decent pliers on it. You're going to easily be able to knock out all sorts of little jobs like adjusting the spokes on your bike, all the way to possibly tightening the refrigerator bottoms if you need to raise or lower it. Like it's going to knock out everything. Amazon Basics in your EDC should be a staple. It really should be one of the first things you go to, not the last thing that you think of. This next one, I cannot believe that we are starting to trend backwards like we are, but it just makes sense. We do it in everything that we do. We had physical media and CDs and vinyl, and then we went to streaming and Spotify. Now we're making our way back to vinyl. Same thing here in this next category, janitor keys. If you have an Orbit key, a Jibbin, a Key Smart, a Key Bar, you're doing it wrong. People need to know you're coming. Get yourself a nice regular split key ring, the ones that tear your nails up whenever you use it. Put every single key that you need in your life on there. Even if you only touch that key every 60 days, put it on your keys. Storage units, duplicate copies to your front door. Make sure you have every single lock that's around the house. Put them all on there at the same time. People can hear you coming. That way you don't have to sneak up on somebody. Gone are the days when we have these sleek, very well organized Orbit keys. You need to be able to identify your keys from the next county. Like my keys are going to be so big in 2024 that when I basically set them down, I want it to be known it has its own seat on the couch. That's my goal. I take aspirations from the janitors of past. Let's get it right. The quality control specialists of the past. And much respect to y'all. The fact that y'all get to do that from like things that are mandated to you from work related items, I'm going to aspire to do that in my personal life. Speaking of like things in my personal life, I have got to embrace pry bars that do multiple things. Now, listen, in 2023, I probably used a pry bar that I purposely carried on my body maybe once, not even for camera equipment or to pull nails. I think maybe one time I had to do little bit of prying. But I am sleeping out on that. Like, I need to spend at least $100 to $150 on a pry bar. It needs to be beautiful, aesthetically pleasing, have extra functionality to it, like bit drivers, just in case, I don't know, I need to tighten something on my knives or my multi-tools. And I'm going to purposely pry as much as I can. I'm going to use it to try to, if I got like dirt behind my ears, pry that dirt away from my ears. If I need to do anything else, make small adjustments, pry bars are the way to go. Not the cheap ones. You need to spend at least $100 on them. Otherwise, you're not doing it right. That's the way that I see it. And then the last one, shame on me. Shame on me. I've talked about this so many times in other videos. 2024, it's about to grab me by the scrotum, are fidgets. The more they fidget, the better. The higher costs, they better. Shout out to Accessorize Me. He is going to help me find all the fidgets that cost $500 and up. And listen, if you have anxiety, I can understand why you want those and have little things to fidget with, but anyone else should also consider it as well. It gives you the opportunity to procrastinate, not do your job, not pick up your kids on time, miss a couple of bills because you got the best fidgets ever. It just feels so good to realize that I have a very comprehensive and compact everyday carry trend that I'm going to be able to participate in. Maximalism, spending as much as you can, and everything that I just mentioned. If this is your first time stopping by, hit the subscribe button because I come up with brilliant dunce stuff like this all the freaking time, and I would love to have you a part of the battalion. If this is not your first time stopping by, I'm not talking to you, okay? Okay, you've already done what I need you to do. Run out, and I don't have any links for any of this stuff that I just mentioned because these are going to be the best kept secrets just for me, okay? But Google it. Put it in the Google machines, Google what today is, and maybe you'll be able to figure out what this video was all about. I'll catch you guys later.